Hi, I'm Dempsey Pillot, and this week I'm reviewing Tonya was directed by Craig Gillespie, who previously directed The Finest Hours and Lars and the Real Girl, and written by Steven Rogers, who previously wrote Stepmom and P.S. I Love You. Yes, let that one sink in. The film features powerhouse performances from Margot Robbie, Allison Janney, and Sebastian Stan of all people. Now, if you haven't seen the film, I won't go into too much detail. All I will say is that it is about the life of Tonya Harding leading up to the scandal involving Nancy Kerrigan during the 1994 Olympics. This film was great. I loved it, like I said. Probably one of my favorite films of last year, even though it's still rolling out into theaters this year, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, like I said, powerhouse performances across the board. Allison Janney knocked it out of the park. The only role that I could think to compare her role to is J.K. Simmons's in Whiplash. Phenomenal. She is crazy, and I loved every moment of it. And after having seen Lady Bird, I can definitely say, in my opinion at least, that her performance as Tonya Harding's mom is far superior, and I hope she gets the gold. In addition to the powerhouse performances that we see by the three leads, Robbie, Janney, and Stan, there's one other character in the film who I believe this might be his first film ever, and if it's not, I hope he gets more roles because this seemed like a really breakout role for him. His name is Paul Walter Hauser, and he has a lot of the funnier dialogue in the film, and I enjoyed whenever he was on screen, personally. I thought he was a very funny character, and I hope to see a lot more of him in the future because this guy's definitely talented. He brought a lot to this film, and I wanted more. I was that thoroughly pleased by his performance. This film is probably the best film about ice skating that I've ever seen in my life. I went into seeing this film with little to no knowledge of ice skating, but after leaving it, I think I can say that I know what a triple axel is. But, you know, of course, I'm kidding. This film is just a phenomenal film in general. The direction is phenomenal. There's this one scene where Tonya Harding is pulling off the triple axel for the very first time, and if you don't know what a triple axel is, go see the film, go Google it, but essentially the way that whole sequence is done is phenomenal. Phenomenal. The film was told in a very pseudo-documentarian way, similar to the way Goodfellas was filmed. There's a lot of looking directly into the camera, and there's a lot of he said or she said. There are moments where, you know, two people are describing the same event, and as you see it happen, you see them tell it two different ways, which is a brilliant choice in my opinion. And going back into the writing, you know, even though these characters are based on true people, even though some of these people were just, you know, out of their mind for some of the film, you know, I still felt very compelled to feel for them, you know, and even leading up into the very end of the film, I couldn't help but feel something. And that is strong writing, in my opinion, and that is something I deeply admired about Steven Rogers' script. And yeah, I love this film. I cannot say it enough. Even if you watch the trailer and you're like, oh, that movie's not for me, it's, you know, it seems like it's about ice skating more or less. No, you have no idea. This film is about way more than ice skating. This film is about how far people are willing to go to achieve their dreams, and it's an examination on how your support system affects your growth. Now, the only problem that I had with the film was that, you know, towards the very end, after it addressed the whole Nancy Kerrigan incident, it did seem to drag just a little. But I understand there are a lot of details to get in, and there's a little mini epilogue at the end. But still, regardless, the film was amazing. Even with it still being a little bit too long at the end, it's a near perfect film. And for that, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Excellent! Now, as I said in the beginning, Tonya came out last year in limited release. And over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be expanding to theaters nationwide. So I highly recommend that you go check this film out. It is going to be an awards contender, I'm telling you. Allison Janney's definitely going to get a nomination at least. And like I said, I really hope she gets the gold. And Margot Robbie and maybe even Sebastian Stan might get something. Who knows? I want to thank you for tuning in, and thank you to everybody who saw the last video. I got a lot of feedback from it, and I look forward to making more of these for you. So if you like what you saw and you want to see more, please hit that like button and subscribe, and there'll be more to come. And until next time, I'm Dempsey Pillot. See ya.